Daggone, Uncle Jeffro.
Gosh. All right, so this was my second pick. Five Finger Death Punch. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Five Finger Death Punch. They're a little harder than most of the stuff that these guys request. This is actually my personal favorite Five Finger Death Punch song. It's called Remember Everything, from the album American Capitalist in 2011. Their second album, War is the Answer, sold over 1 million copies. The band itself is named after a martial arts move, and it's actually in the movie Kill Bill. It's the scene where she actually, kills Bill. So
interesting.
Good.
Take
And
it back.
so some of the songs that are also popular are Bad Company, Jekyll and Hyde, Wrong Side of Heaven. I also like The Bleeding. So I think that they're definitely a band, depending on if you like your music a little harder. They're pretty good. Kind of what you're into, but this is actually one of my favorites, so let's see what you guys think.
Move the mouse up so it gets off that. That's how I like to use the space bar. That's what I was trying to say when we got before.
Dear mother, I love you. I'm sorry, I wasn't good enough. Dear father, forgive me. 'Cause in your eyes, I just never added up. In my heart, I know I failed you, but you left me here alone. If I could hold back the rain, would you numb the pain? 'Cause I remember everything. If I could help you forget, would you take my regrets? 'Cause I remember dear brother, just don't hate me for never standing by you or being by your side. Dear sister, please don't blame me. I only did what I thought was truly right. It's a long and lonely road. When you know you walk alone. If I could hold back the rain, would you numb the pain? 'Cause I remember everything. If I could help you forget,
All right, Pops, start us off.
I'm not super familiar with Five Finger Death Punch. I actually thought this was even going to be even harder than that from what I had.
I looked at Jeffrey's card and it said it was metal, so I was a little worried.
Yeah, I thought he was going to start screaming at some point when they got to like the chorus or whatnot.
I wanted to pick a song like for me to introduce you guys to them that wasn't so much like that because some of their songs are like that.
Okay.
So this is kind of like the kind of the opposite of what we've been doing here lately, as far as like what I've been saying, where like I might like a song because I'm more of a word man, so I like the words or the lyrics or something, maybe not the music. This is a little bit different, where I like the music and I don't really like the words. I'm not for sure what this dude is really getting at with all this, with all his problems with his family or whatnot, but he's doing like a whole hell of a lot of whining, and I'm not super big on like. I mean, the thing is, like, I understand.
Can you
like,
not get so mad at one video?
like, I understand, like,
Here comes the hot take.
it's kind of like country music, like, you know, everyone always makes fun of, like, the guy. It's like the quintessential, oh, I lost my girl.
Well, it's not his fault the truck left
I'm
that.
drinking, you know, yeah, I got my pickup truck with just my dog. I got my Coors Light. Woe was me. I'm not super into, like, woe was me attitude, like, songs, attitude, and people that are like that, anything. It's like, not my thing. So I'm not digging, like, the lyrics at all. I don't know what this dude did. I mean, maybe... I don't know anything what this guy's really trying to say. Obviously, he has some sort of issue with his parents and his whatever, and like he feels like he let him down. So maybe it's more of a thing on himself. But either way, I'm not really digging it. I didn't really like it. I did like the music though. I like the music pretty well. So I would have to give it one less than average and go like a 4.
Ouch.
Yeah, I'm so sorry for you.
That's
I
all right.
apologize.
Listen, we have different
You
tastes.
know,
So.
you
And
can't
I'll
get
explain the lyrical part when I get to it.
it. Okay.
That was it for me.
So for me, I agree with Dad in a little bit of the lyrics. I'm not exactly sure what he's going for, but in my thoughts, it's a little bit of what Dad says, that he's failed in some way, shape, or form, whether it was being there for Thanksgiving dinner or some reason, and they diss him for it, for way too hard for no reason. Or because maybe he was the odd one out, maybe he was adopted, or whatever reason, so they treated him different. Which I know that can happen, so maybe that's what's going on there. Not really sure. But obviously the most mistreated one will remember everything because they take it so much harder.
Well, I don't know for sure if he's saying he was mistreated as much as he's like he.
Well, that's just kind of my interpretation.
Like I almost felt like whatever mistreatment he got was probably deserved. Is what more the way I take it. You know what
Well,
I mean?
and that's where I was going to kind of jump in, because if you're basing it off of just what he's talking about with dear mother, dear father, dear sister, dear brother, yeah, he does sound like he's whining. He sounds like, you know, I did the best that I could. But then, like, there's a line in that bridge when he's like, you know, I'm still so far from home. You know that I'll never change, but what the fuck do you know? I'll burn it all to the ground before I let you win. Please forgive me. I can't forgive you again. I think in that part, if you're paying attention to that, it's almost him saying that I'm aware that a lot of these problems are just as much as my fault as they are theirs, but I'm not going to change who I am. And I think that's kind of where, from the lyrical standpoint, he's saying, like, he's conflicted because he knows that some of this stuff is his fault, some of this stuff is his family's fault, but he's not going to change what he did. And we know in real life, what is that going to lead to? Nothing. Yeah. Everything's going to go the same.
Yeah.
But from, you know, a songwriting standpoint, I think there's that, like, you know, like you said, he does sound like he's whining at a point in that song. But when he gets to that bridge, it's like, well, I'm going to go do this, and you kind of get a glimpse into, well, this is probably what you've done to cause some of your problems.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I was thinking. But
Okay.
I was
is
going
that
to
your
wait.
interpretation?
Yes.
Okay.
But everyone has their different
Right.
interpretation.
Unless we looked it up and actually figured it out. But that's kind of the fun of sitting here and talking.
Yeah,
Yep.
I agree. Yeah.
If I had to, which I do agree with that, I did really enjoy the music. week or two ago, you guys might have saw me. I had a Lamb of God shirt on, and here, Young Lion and Pops, we pretty much hate that kind of music. And I went to a live concert. Couldn't tell you a single song they sang, or a single word they said.
Couldn't understand a damn thing.
But the
There was
musical
music.
standpoint, they were really good. I like their music a lot, and that's kind of in the same way here. But I understood what he said. I could remember everything per se. If I had
Sure.
if I had
Marketing.
to rate it, I would go 5.5.
Oof. Flamed it. Well, clearly I have a different point of view.
Everything you bring's an 8, right?
That's right.
Let's get them used to date. From
So-
Uncle
At least
Jethro.
But again, this is a generational thing,
Yeah.
you know, because when I was younger, this is more the music that I came up on. You know, like
How old is it? How old is this song?
This song was created in 2011.
Okay.
But this type of style of music is a lot what like I grew up on, because when I was, you know, a teenager, it was Linkin Park and Korn and Disturbed and
Yeah.
you know, Godsmack. You have a lot of those bands that are a little bit harder, you know, like
Yeah.
so for me, this probably resonated more with me than it would with Pops or Young Lion, because that's what my generation grew up on specifically.
Okay.
You know, it was the new metal, it was the harder rock, even some of the like screamo stuff that really became popular in the early 2000s all the way to like what it is now. So again, we talk about how there's a generational gap between each of us. So sometimes we're all vibing with songs and sometimes our opinions are going to be very different. So as I stated in an earlier video, anything that I bring, it's an 8 or higher. Clearly they don't agree, but we're allowed to disagree. We just don't judge each other for what we pick. So I call it an 8.
You're giving it 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
They call it average to less average. So, oof, help me out, guys.
Suggest
Let us know
another.
who's right.
Suggest another and flame us in the comments for it.